We will now use SPSS to generate some infographics. SPSS comes equipped with a very wide variety of charts and graphics capabilities built into it. You can access this by clicking on Graphs in the user interface. Under the Gallery tab in the dialog box, you can see that one can generate bar charts, line charts, area charts, and several other options. We will use the teaching evaluation data from University of Texas, where instructors were evaluated by students. Our dataset includes information about the instructors, the course, the teaching evaluation, and a composite score of their beauty as it was perceived by students. Let us start by determining how many courses were taught by men and how many by women. For this, we can use a bar chart. Notice here that the information is rather complete from a statistical point of view, that we know how many courses were taught by men versus women, but we do not have some critical information from this chart as it relates to communication. It serves a statistical purpose, but it doesn't serve a communication purpose. Let me illustrate this with an example. Here you're looking at a street map. You can see the streets and the buildings and the highways, but what you don't see is the street names. And without street names, it is hard to determine where you are and in which direction you should be heading. So to add communication value to this map, even though it is according to the scale, it may be accurate in its depiction of the streets in the neighborhood, it still lacks the ability to communicate information to you just because it's missing the street names. A simple solution would be to just add the street names. Let us apply the same philosophy to our graphic. But once we add information about this infographic, a title, a footnote, this chart becomes a little bit more informative. In SPSS, we click on Graphs and click on Legacy Dialogs. We can do this with Chart Builder as well, but let's go with Legacy Dialogs and click on Bar and click on Simple, and we pick the variable female instructor and put it on category axis. We just want the number of cases. We could have the percentage of cases, but let's just put number of cases. We'll just click on titles and type the titles. Once we have typed the titles and the footnotes, we click continue and then OK. Our chart appears in the output window. Now let's repeat this with the chart builder. We click on Graphs, Chart Builder, and then click on the gallery and select this here and got the right template. Select gender, and if we were to click OK, it will give us the same graph. Or we click on titles and footnotes, title 1, and type this here and then say apply. Then we type the footnote and click on apply and say OK, and our graphic is generated again. We can also add more dimensions to the data. It's not just the gender of the instructors. We can add the tenure status of the instructors as well to the graphic. We can add another dimension to the data, regenerating the same graphic, the same information, that is the number of courses taught by gender and tenure, but then adding a third dimension of courses being upper division or lower division and presenting them in 2 rows or columns. Additionally, we can even include another fourth dimension to it. So we have the gender, the tenure status, the division status, and we can add if the courses were taught by male and female instructors and whether those instructors were visible minority, yes or no, not visible minority. We return to SPSS and click on Graphs, Chart Builder, and this time we reset and select a different type of the template under the gallery and drag it into the canvas. We click on gender for x-axis, so we drag gender on x-axis, and essentially this has provided us with the same graph. And then we take tenure and put it on clustering variable, cluster on x, and we got that. And we could have added the titles if we wanted, so this is the options there. I'm just going to plot it. Here you see that the information added to the previous graph is now tenure, that you have a breakdown of courses taught by males and females, and then an additional bar color-coded representing how many courses were taught by males who were tenured versus female. So the information that you could see here is that almost the same number of untenured professors or instructors were male and female. When it comes to tenured instructors, more male instructors were involved in teaching than female instructors. Now let's add the additional dimension of division and visible minority status. We return to the same dialog box, and here we see the groups. For the row panel, we select division, and for the column panel, we click column here and we select minority status and click OK, and here's the resulting graphic. And you can see that in some instances, for example, female instructors who are teaching upper division courses and are visible minority, they're only males, no females there. Lastly, we are presenting not just the counts but averages. We have two types of variables: categorical variables for gender and upper and lower division courses, and we would like to find that mean or average teaching evaluation score, which is a continuous variable. So when you have categorical and continuous variables and you would like to show the relationships between the two, the choices are either bar charts or column charts. In SPSS, we return to the graphs window, say chart builder, and we reset everything and click on gallery, select the right template, click on gender and put it on x-axis. Then we put the grouping variable, or we first put the tenure on the clustering variable, and notice it says count here, but what we really want is the mean evaluation score. So we take the teaching evaluation score and drop it here, and it changes into mean teaching evaluation score. We click on groups and select row panels and select division and drop it here, and here you go. What we have is the average teaching evaluation score differentiated by gender and also by division. And you could see that untenured male instructors teaching lower division courses are getting the highest teaching evaluation score.